All right. It's hard for me to listen back sometimes at the things I say. Like, did I really say that? But
It was great.
And I say, but it's real. I thought they were going to go with the political rant that I had from last week. Well, welcome everybody. You know what time it is? It's Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday.
Woo!
I just got an update on my phone that Sean Diddy Combs has been charged with racketeering,
Oh, that's old news.
trafficking. Oh wow, that's not HR related. Actually, kind of
not
is. I wonder
HR
about
related.
HR. But welcome everybody to the HR Morning Show, the number one things for all things HR all morning long. We got the full crew here. They are back from RecFest, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But just so you guys know, a little reminder: we are part of Purple Acorn, the one and only online community for HR professionals, decision makers, tech savvy individuals, and entrepreneurs interested in the latest HR news and updates. And if you're hungry for more after the episode, head over to purpleacorn.io. We're going to link it up. Follow us on LinkedIn. Guess what? We're all together back from RecFest, and we're going to offer the best recap in the business. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. And if you're watching us live right now, sound off in the comments. Joel's going to keep an eye on that. We're live every Tuesday on LinkedIn and YouTube. Leave a comment and let us know if you're here. And if you missed an episode, you can catch all past episodes on YouTube. And take us on the go, because we're a podcast now. Subscribe on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So let's get to it. RecFest, we had a little bit of rain. Well, I wasn't there. I was kind of watching from the sidelines. We had a little bit of rain, but we're going to hear it from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joel, in a little bit. So let's get to that recap, folks.
What's up, guys? Joel Algie here with Purple Acorn, live at RecFest USA 2024. I mean, this is the place to be. It's chill. We're outside. We get all the festival vibes, but we need to see what fun is going on here. And you can see we got a ton of stuff, so we're going to go check it out.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gabby Caracciolo, Vice President of Client Operations at The Muse.
I will hook you up with some red shoes. Shout out to Aaron on the red shoes.
Hey, this is Brett, the U.S. sales lead at Hack a Job. We're down here at RecFest in Nashville, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Frankie. I am a product marketing manager at Hack a Job.
Hello, my little blueberries. It's me, Kyle Lagunas, coming to you live from the Disrupt stage at RecFest here in Nashville.
I found that the recruiting techs who recruit recruiters can use a tech platform to know about the entire world of recruiting tech, recruiting recruiters.
Hi, I'm Stephen. I'm from Poetry. We are a recruiter enablement platform. We've come to be here at RecFest USA in Nashville, all the way from Glasgow. I hope that you can see my kilt. This camera's panning down, so you can definitely see my kilt now.
Hey, this is John Ralph from Fountain, helping to enable companies to hire frontline workers. We're here at RecFest in wonderful Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, it's Dorothy, Julie Sowash, coming to you very live from RecFest 2024 in Nashville.
Hi, I'm Bill Borman. I've got the privilege today of hosting this stage with a whole lineup of great speakers at RecFest.
Coming to you live from RecFest, I'm Des with Qualify. It's a little rainy right now, but we like purple rain out here.
This is what it looks like when we're going to a 90s party.
That's right, we are. All eyes on me.
Hello, I'm Sarah Parrish. I'm with Aaron. I'm an account executive here. We are at RecFest having a great time. This is Seamus, our mascot. He is the making slow referrals fast.
Hi, I'm Melinda Hensley here from Purple Acorn. So excited to be here. I'm here with Summer.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. It's not raining today.
It's not raining.
Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it. But
I know.
It's been great. It's the first time we've been here. We had folks at the UK version a few weeks ago. But no, it's been great so far. Everyone's having a good time. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm speaking on the role of a talent advisor and basically how recruiters need to get their stuff together in order to align themselves with the business, because if they can't, they're in trouble. They're not going to have jobs.
It'll turn out great for society. Like, I think we are living in a really weird time in history where we're spending most of our time looking at screens, typing, making phone calls. I do not that if there's any supernatural being, call it God of the universe, intended for us to live like that.
So Joel Algae, let's give it to us. Give it to us real. The good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome. Give us the Purple Rain recap of RecFest. Give it to us raw and real, man.
The good, meeting all of my fellow recruiters, talent acquisition people in real life. You know, those are my people. You know, it's you're walking around, you're seeing people that you've interacted with for years online. There's really nothing like it. And I think there's something about, like, we've talked about this, like, there's something about, like, HR, and then there's something different, a little bit different about recruiters, right? There's just a different feeling. And then I love RecFest because, you know, it's shorts, t-shirt, hat.
It's cash,
cap.
man.
No one's getting mad at me for wearing a cap on stage.
Dude, we were cash last year, right? We were in shorts. It was beautiful last year. We got lucky.
Last year, just all day. I didn't have any during that, but the only thing to me, and we were talking about this before, was I think when you get on stage as a brand or you're a vendor at any of these events, I'm throwing this out there as a challenge to anybody who's running marketing or is that spokesperson for your company. I think some of these presentations, they can seem a little bit pitchy, and I get it. You have the audience, you have the stage, but I think there's a lot to be said for the last 2 years has been really tough for recruiters specifically. And I would have just loved, like, I don't know, some more like connection with people of like
community
what's going on, you know?
So like, was it a lot of like, it felt salesy?
I would say if it was a practitioner doing a session, definitely not. And there was I felt like the second day there was a lot of practitioners who were just talking about the real issues that are going on. It's just more like if you're a brand selling, you know, or what do they call those? Like if you're a sponsor of the event or you be on stage,
you want to get your money's worth, right? Like that's kind of the deal. Like, hey, we're up there, but there's a way to do it organically versus feeling pitchy, right?
Salesy.
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
But as like conference organizers too, you like it's your job to realize what types of the lineup that you're creating and what types of presentations are going to be up there, and to make it not feel as salesy.
Leslie.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I think it's good feedback. I think there's a balance there, and I think that, listen, as a sponsor, you want to get your money's worth, right? You want to get your ROI on it, as if you don't have a booth there. But there's a way to or infuse it organically as a solution, where you're framing up the problem and framing it as, hey, we at XYZ company, we have a solution for that because we see it as a problem. But don't jam it down our throats.
And I want to just be clear too. Like this was just I think when practitioners and people who are in the field doing the hands-on work, completely different. And then the networking was amazing. And there is just something about, I think, the recruiting field and talent acquisition where people are wanting to genuinely connect. And definitely it's just a different feel than some of the HR conferences, because it's recruiters, right? Like
it's a different vibe. Yeah,
we love people. We want to connect. Everybody, you know, people want to chat. People want to have fun. And then Nashville, we were promised a lot of rain and like this huge storm. There were a couple of moments where it was raining, but even then, it's like people are just out there having fun. Like, you know,
it wasn't that bad.
It looked like a ton of fun. I can't believe there was skee ball and the kilt.
Yeah. What about the parties, Joel? I want to hear about the parties.
The parties were amazing. I was at the Job Pixel party, which we talked about last week, and great food, everyone catching up, and it was good drinks. It was amazing. I got a bunch of tokens, which was awesome. So I was just handing out tokens to anyone who came my way.
Drink ticket, Joel.
Yeah, it was amazing, dude. It was amazing. It was a good time. And then the only thing I will say is, like, it is, I think when even if you, like, I'm extroverted, right? So I get all my energy from people, and I definitely had like a buzz, but man, I just am reminded every single time I'm around people, it's like this added energy. And then you know, it's just, you get tired by the end of the few days because it's just so much energy, you know? And
it's exhausting.
Yeah. So it's like I think next year, and obviously like I spent the last like 6 weeks with this arm thing, not doing as much activity, but next year I'm gonna have to go even swoller.
You have to
So
train.
And but honestly, man, I felt lonely without the pause there. Like
Well,
I was like, where is everyone's like, where's pause? Where's pause?
You need
I'm
a sidekick. Everyone needs a sidekick.
I need a sidekick. I need someone to make fun of me.
Yeah, we've sick. And well, listen, I think next year we're building it up. I think that we're gonna have a big Purple Acorn presence.
Yeah.
A lot of events coming up in 2024 and 2025. We're excited for that. And how is hosting, man? How is hosting the Unplugged stage?
Yeah.
Hosting was a ton of fun. That's my first time hosting, and I get there and I'm like, okay, so what do we do? And shout out to India from the Wreckfest team. She's like, you've done this a million
Oh,
times.
she's cool. Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's the first time. But yeah, it was great, and it's just like getting people set up, and everybody was amped up on the first day, which was awesome. I got the crowd a couple times to just chant A-I.
Did you?
Yeah, and I was like, it's gonna replace our jobs, but that's okay. And we're just laughing, having a good time. So it was a blast. I find like hosting is more my style versus like presenting and like having to blow people's minds. So it was all good, man.
I feel like that AI thing was exposure therapy.
I think so
for
too.
recruiters.
Don't sell yourself short, Joel. I saw you present video last year. You're pretty damn good at it. So don't sell yourself short on that. I think it was pretty good. So we got
making fun of me, not bringing
nah. You gotta give some credit where credit is where credit is due. So what do we have next for you, Joel? Anything else in 2024?
Dude, I think this is actually I'm tapped out for 2024. So staying local, staying home, really focusing on this, live shows and my podcast as well. So I think Q4 is going to be a little quieter, but next year, like I'm already planning all the trips out. So what about you guys?
Well, Danielle and I are hitting the road. We're going to be in Vegas, baby. Vegas next week for HR Tech with our friends over at Higher Road, and we'll be doing some stuff for Purple Acorn. So I got my sidekick over here, the Robin to my Batman. So we're gonna be roaming around Vegas. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff out there. We're gonna be getting silly, and then I'll be heading out in mid-November to ERE Recruiting Conference, where I'll be doing a keynote and some podcasting on behalf of the podcast and Purple Acorn. So Pause going out west to finish up the year. We got 2 West Coast road trips, and then we'll see what's happening. I mean, as of right now, we have Transform, which we're going to go big on 2025 in March, and we're going to have a big presence out there. And Joel will be there, Danielle. We're going to have the whole crew, and we got some Danielle. Wait. Did I hear some awesome news about Transform? Say that again.
I'm gonna be on stage.
Let's go.
Here in 2025. Yeah, we're
That's
locked in
what I'm
the
talking
details. It's not all set in stone, but yeah, I'm gonna be on stage. And then this week, I'm actually right after the show. I'm going to Boston for Inbound, the HubSpot's marketing conference, which is the marketing conference in my opinion. And I'm going to be hanging out with Ryan Reynolds and Serena Williams and a bunch of other cool marketing peeps. I'm going with the marketing millennials.
Do you think
You could get Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, for sure. I was told that he might have almost invested in the family biz. So I might have a little connect. But I'm very excited. I'm going to be in Boston. So if you're in Boston, hit me up. I'm so down to like meet other people. If you're going to Inbound, which I know this is a HR show, but on the off chance that you are, let me know.
Well, catch everyone out there. Listen, everyone out there listening to the live show, the podcast, the audio, the video, whatever it is. If you see any of us out there, please come up to us, say hello, get some swag, and we'll see you out there. So let's keep the show rolling with our man, Clark.
Let's go.
What is going on? All right, we got the Hot 100 today, so I'm going to give you a breakdown of a recruiting topic in 100 seconds. So today we got Sales Navigator crew. We are talking Sales Navigator. Everyone typically gets Recruiter Pro. It's super expensive. Everyone's talking about the price increase, but there's a little tool that LinkedIn sells. It's $99 a month that no one really knows about, or they sign up. They don't really get any training on, and it's Sales Navigator, and it is incredible. for any of the outreach that you're looking to do on LinkedIn. If you're an HR and TA, this is great to find job seekers. Again, a lot of people are going to want to respond to you. You don't need an expensive recruiter seat. You can build all the candidate sourcing lists that you need with Sales Navigator. For job seekers, again, if you've never used a premium account on LinkedIn, you get the first month free of Sales Navigator. So if you're on the job hunt, it's a great tool to kind of find the types of hiring managers. I'm going to talk about kind of my favorite filter in the account list. Like you can actually search by companies that are hiring on LinkedIn. If you're an agency recruiter, especially if you're full desk, this is great to do your sales prospecting and your sourcing. I've seen people scale their agencies to, their solo desk to mid six figures just using Sales Navigator and a little bit of automation. So it's completely doable. My 3 favorite features. Number 1 is the who viewed my profile in the last 90 days tab, especially if you're active on LinkedIn and posting content like all the panelists do here. You can start to see, again, who's paying attention to your profile from your content or just kind of from your outreach. It's a great way to kind of have some of that warm outbound, those warm signals. Using account lists, this is something Sales Navigator has that Recruiter Lite, Recruiter Pro doesn't have, that you can build out, say, your Dream 100 or your Dream 20, whether you're in sales or in recruiting or looking for a job, and then pull leads directly from the accounts that you're adding. You can also search by companies that are hiring on LinkedIn, like I mentioned before. It's pretty cool. If you're in tech, you can also search by recently funded companies. So pretty cool features that pulls from Crunchbase. And then the third thing that not many people know is I love the Sales Navigator phone app for building lists and building out searches. The filters kind of auto-populate based on what you're searching for. It's super easy to add a bunch of titles, bunch of industries, whatever you need, and then go to your desktop or laptop and kind of finalize a list and get some automation going. And as I mentioned, if you use automation, you can really have top of funnel outreach almost on autopilot with that combination for $200 a month. So team, that's what I got today.
I've been using Recruiter Lite for a long time. Relatively affordable, until you forget that you have it on a yearly plan, and all of a sudden you look at your credit card and you get smacked with that. It's like $1,400. What's the difference for a recruiter between using Sales Nav and Recruiter Lite?
Yeah, I think the account tabs is going to be the difference. And that's, to my knowledge, Recruiter Lite doesn't and still doesn't have. And I think that's going to be more impactful. To be able to kind of search by companies or do some prospecting. You could even source by companies, right? If you have a client that tells you, we want people from these companies or we don't want people from this type of company, right? You can create do not contact lists. You can create, you can exclude companies versus include companies as well. So there's just a little bit more flexibility for, I think, the practical application if you're a recruiter, whether you're internal or agency.
Yeah, Clark really knows what he's talking about here. And even for the solo, smaller shops like myself, figuring out where and when you could automate. I mean, that's efficiency. That's how you scale. That's how you figure it out. And Clark is certainly the man who knows what he's talking about here. Give us all a secret trick here using Sales Nav. Give it one alpha freebie over here.
Alpha freebie.
I
didn't talk about. I mean, you can use Boolean within the filters. You don't just have to use the filters. You can use Boolean within filters, which is pretty cool. And again, if you're confused on Boolean, well, AI is your best friend in terms of helping you come up with some good Boolean searches and all that. So feel free to leverage that as well. Maybe that's, I don't know. Yeah, you guys probably knew that, but.
Clark, if people want more,
yeah. I want more.
Where could they get more?
Digitalrecruiter.io. Check out my profile, Clark Wilcox. LinkedIn, connect with me. You can check out our podcast, Digital Recruiter Podcast, Digital Recruiter Sunday Night Newsletter. It's free. We got the Digital Recruiter Library.
That's what I wanted to do on a Sunday night. Let's spend it with Clark.
Dude, Sunday Night Football. Watch the newsletter during your halftime show. That's.
Whoa, Kevin, you just said 3 of your favorite people. Who's not favorite?
Oh, snap.
Busted.
That is Kev. I know Kevin was up. He's probably at the gym. He's probably leaving the gym right now. He was shooting ball. The dude, Joel, if you want fitness advice, you should talk to Kevin Logan Jr. That dude is ripped.
That dude's swole. Right. We spoke at a conference in Miami. He was doing like handstand push-ups or whatever in the room.
Wow.
He was crazy. He's nuts. But
look, I broke my arm with my body weight, so there's no way I'm gonna do that. All right.
Yeah, he's crazy. I think he can still dunk. But he brought up a good point. You can comment on other people's posts on SalesNav. You can see who's recently posted within the last 30 days. It's a great way to filter people that are more active on LinkedIn, but you can directly look at their posts and comment on that, which is a great, obviously, engagement
That's smart.
piece on LinkedIn. So yeah, Kevin, appreciate the reminder there.
Shout out there. Well,
you guys know about the 5-minute favor?
What's that?
It's when you do a favor or do something that benefits someone else, and then you ask them for something. They're much more likely to say yes.
Within 5 minutes?
Well, the point is to do a favor that takes you 5 minutes.
Okay.
So
a like can take 5 seconds. So,
a podcast review.
Quid pro quo, bro.
You know,
review on your LinkedIn. Found if you buy someone's product, they really like you.
That's a sure way. It's a sure way to your loyalty.
Yeah.
But you know what? Buying the book is great. Well, Clark, we want to thank you as always for these hot tips and Clark's Hot 100. We will catch you next week, and everyone, please connect with Clark on LinkedIn and check out Digital Recruiter. It is the real deal.
Hi, Clark Kent.
Yeah, Clark Kent. Yeah, Clark Kent in the house. And folks, guess what? This show would not be possible. If it wasn't for the folks over at Acorn. And if you don't know about Acorn, you should check out Acorn. Acorn is a premier employee referral and internal mobility software platform that increases referral hires for non-desk and corporate employees by 5x and decreases turnover by 50%. That is key. And you can check out Acorn 5.0 with new features designed to make finding the right job instantaneous. Submitting referrals is as simple as a text, chat, or Slack or smoke signal and delivers the success metrics you need to operate a world-class employee referral program. So check out Acorn if you want to take your employee retention and referrals to the next level. And guess what? We have swag. We got some Acorn swag. So drop a purple square in the chat. Message us. We will get you some sloths.
Did you guys know his name is Seamus?
That's also Joel's nickname.
My daughter actually calls our sloth Mike. She's like,
Mike from
been getting red shoes. So she's just like,
Mike from Aaron's.
It's like, when's Mike sending me more sloths? Mike. I'm like, what's your sloth called? Mike. So Mike, there you go.
That's adorable.
But
Mike will be flattered, I think.
Oh, Michael will be flattered. We love Acorn. We want to thank them so much.
Let's go.
And Acorn's going to be hooking us up at HR Tech. Yep. Acorn, thank you. Thanks, guys.
The red shoes.
There he is.
Mike in the
There he is.
Mike Staffy in
Mike,
the
I'll see. Mike, I am looking forward to seeing you next week. We got a cigar and a whiskey lined up.
That's right.
Zealand, Amsterdam. Where's the link?
Where am I, dude?
Well,
There we are.
You blocked me. Welcome back. How was Amsterdam?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was so fabulous.
Do you know that the shortening of Amsterdam is A''dam? So I have a shirt that says Adam.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed a new one though because I lost it. I should have told you. You could have given it to me at next week in Vegas.
I could have given it to you next week in Vegas.
No, we didn't. That was poor.
Vegas, right?
That was poor. Yeah, I'm going to see you in Vegas. I'm actually waiting. I'm waiting for an email from you. We'll talk about that later.
I do. I have an email. I have a super secret space that we're going to get you all hooked up with.
I've been waiting for this.
It's okay. I had to listen. I had to go to Amsterdam and have the party of the century.
Wow.
Everything kicked off, and now I'm all focused on HR Tech. So
okay,
it's all happening.
But let's talk about Amsterdam. What went down?
Yeah, it was amazing. So listen, if you ever get to you ever have those moments where people say who would you invite to a dinner party if you can invite anybody in the whole world.
Dead or alive, or just alive?
Just alive.
Okay.
Just alive. Because
Mhm.
it's creepy to bring like ghosts up on stage. So
Holograms
the-
okay, like Tupac, Biggie,
yeah, that's cool. Holograms work, but dead
Joel.
people probably not the best choice. So all live people, I got to put together like the best lineup of people.
Mm.
So kicking us off was Brian Solis. And I don't know if you guys know this guy. He is the head of innovation over at ServiceNow, but he's been around
Mhm.
forever. Experienced designer, like super smart, and I've been fangirling over him since for like the last 10 years. So I've been walking around. I was so excited. He kicked us off. We talked about AI. It was a whole day full of talking about what it really means to make AI work in today's world, right? Where are we going? What are we doing with this? It was super hot. So we did that. John Stanners was on stage. Matt Alder was there. Rebecca, our CEO, kicked some stuff off, talking a little bit about where we're headed from a product perspective, which I'm actually super excited about as well. And just, some cool stuff happening. And then we wrapped it all up with another gentleman that not necessarily an industry person, but is a motivational guy, has a huge YouTube following. His name is Eddie Pinero. And I don't know if you ever heard of him, but if you haven't,
No.
check out The World Within. Amazing stuff. Really talking about how to step outside of the box and actually do some shit, which was super cool. So yeah, it was great. So
And what are what venues are you doing these events in? I mean, I've been to Amsterdam 4 times and I've done everything there except, I've done a decent amount of things in Amsterdam, and I've everything from the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome venues, the partying, the fine dining.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit, because everyone kind of has this stigma about Amsterdam, but it's a lot more than that and that.
Oh yeah, no, so, some awesome stuff. So we did it at the Eye Museum, which is like a film museum in Amsterdam.
cool.
It overlooks obviously the canal. You can't not overlook a canal in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's a lot of water there.
A lot of water there. But it's very architecturally framed, very kind of modern look to the place. I will tell you the biggest challenge is for somebody who has to manage one of these events, has a lot of stairs. There's a lot of odd shaped stairs, so I climbed a lot of stairs. And then we did the evening party. We did a Smarty party afterwards that Utter helped us with. We had about 150, 200 people on this huge boat with a live band going through the canals, which was amazing. So
the best way to see any city that's water is through the canals, and it's a different perspective. You actually get a sense of the locks and the dikes and everything else that they have going on in Amsterdam, and you could really understand the water level. I mean, it's a crazy. So what are your key takeaways from these conversations?
Yeah. So I think the key takeaway is one, it's time for the next level of conversation around AI. I think we all have to kind of get over the fact, is it coming? Is it not coming? Yeah, it's already
it's here. It's here.
Right? So I think the next level conversation is, what is it if it's not just a support tool? What does it mean for us to actually move into an augmented space with AI? We started to go deeper and start talking about AI agents, not just co-pilots, but AI agents that talk to each other to accomplish tasks, independent and with autonomy. I think that's fascinating. I think we're really headed into that space. Really cool to see what's happening there. We talked a lot about adaptive experiences and what that looks like. There's been this may be a little controversial, so all of my recruiters here, right? But listen, when it comes to hiring, we are moving more and more to a space where it needs to get as close to the ground as possible. Hiring managers need to have the capabilities to function as autonomously as possible. And there are solutions that are going to allow us as recruiters to provide guidance without being the people in the middle. And I think that's starting to happen. And so that was really interesting, and talking about what those new experiences are going to look like. So it was exciting. And we heard from Adam Reynolds over at Fraser's. It's a European brand. I don't know if you guys know them as much, but they're doing some really cool stuff with the automation of their pipelining process, their ability. Imagine this, right?
Imagine that.
Imagine if you have an hourly workforce and you're able to take over 70% of your hires year over year out of your pipeline, not out of new posts.
You mean going back to the well?
Going back to the well, but actually making it work in a highly transferable rotational skill set. It's the first person I've ever seen who's ever been able to manage it, and it's phenomenal stuff.
Wow, the future is now using technology. And the word on the street, I mean, I go to a lot of these conferences too, is how do we keep the human in the process, and how do we use the AI tech to make us more efficient, but still keep all that good human stuff that we need? Like, what are some of those things that you're hearing and seeing?
So, John Stanners did a really good job on stage talking about us really having to have a conversation about differentiating between human skills and technology skills, right? There are things that systems and AI and technology are always going to do better than us. We need to let that go and re-emphasize the things that we as humans historically just do better, right? Which is human connection, the ability to read nuance, the ability to understand
Nuance.
nuance. It's all about nuance, right?
Mhm.
Be able to understand between the lines, right? The ability to decipher fact from fiction, right? Because if anybody's used Chat GPT, if you don't know this already, right? Chat GPT, one of the things that makes it interesting is, listen, it will make shit up for you.
Yeah, you have to
Right.
fact check it. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen candidates use it. I've seen lawyers use it poorly.
Yeah. It's always happening out in that space. So some cool stuff there. I also think the other big takeaway was there's a lot of legislation coming this way. Sapathia Guru did a Guru Sapathia out of Fair Now did a great conversation where he basically said, listen, you're never going to use as little AI as you do today. You're going to use more and more and more. But we also are never going to be as unregulated as we are today.
That's true. It's a wild west to a certain extent.
Right. So, what does that mean? How do we do that in a way that allows us to not constrain ourselves? So much of our compliance and regulation is based on, employment laws that may or may not translate from country to country. We've talked about that before. All that's going to have an impact into what these AI laws start to look like in terms of kind of the next stage. We are in a really interesting space, which is not just about how do we apply AI to make what we do today faster and more efficient. It's about what does a tomorrow look like, and how does technology and AI and augmented capabilities allow us to build completely new business processes. So throw our hands up in the air and start over is the moment.
What are you most excited about coming down the pipe tech wise using AI?
I think what excites me the most is if we can figure out this data framework, which is really what's necessary to make it work successfully, is the ability for getting really unified wisdom. We've been playing around the edges of that for years now. These solutions can really get us there. My little birdie tells me, listen, wait another 2 years, we'll start throwing quantum computing on top of these AI agents. And if we've got the data infrastructure right, it's the sky's the limit on what we can do.
The sky is the limit. So what's happening at HR Tech? What are you guys doing there? I'm excited.
HR Tech's going to be awesome. Okay, so you've got to come by our booth, right? Chad and Cheese are going to be podcasting in the booth, so come over and say hi. We have special Friends of Winston speakeasy happening. So if you're one of our Friends of Winston, come over and find me. I'll get you a secret code. We'll
Pretty
get
cool.
you in. And we have we're doing a whole future of talent acquisition, future of talent happening. So we have a fortune teller on site the whole time.
What?
So come on over. We'll read your cards. We'll tell you what's happening, where we're going. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. So lots of parties. We've got some Skyfall parties happening. It's HR Tech. We're there to party. We're there to talk.
We're there to party and talk. That's what I'm there for. I'm gonna get through this little cold I have. So I'm in best place for next week. What's your trick for dealing with jet lag? I mean, Arizona and Amsterdam's a haul.
Okay, so first trick is the airplane trick, right? Doesn't matter where I'm going or how.
So
I'm
take
going.
an airplane, right? The first trick to getting to Amsterdam is take an airplane.
If I'm going to be on an airplane for over 4 hours, then it is a glass of red wine, 2 Unisom, my eye mask, and I land. That's it.
You just do not wake me up. Do not give me food. Do not.
Nothing. And then I land, and then I'm there, and then I never go through that mental exercise of saying it's this time at home right now. I have to I'm there and I'm on that time, and I just have to roll. So that's my test. I'm going to test that out. Australia is coming up in October, and I have not done that leg yet. I hear that's brutal and that's making me a little anxious.
Yeah,
But
you'll get through. That's you're gonna have to wake up. You're not sleeping. Unless you have a straight shot. No, you're transferring in L.A.
I'm
or
transferring in San Francisco, I think. Or I
okay.
don't know. I don't even know where I go. When you travel too much, you start going to the airport and you're not exactly sure where you're going until you look at your phone and it says, "Oh, you're going
You're
to Salt
here.
Lake City first." Right? I don't know.
I feel that way between Chicago, Dallas, and Atlanta in the last couple of years. Anytime I'm transferring in those airports, all the same to me.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm on a monorail, I'm looking out. I'm like, you're not in the outside. You don't know what the weather's going on. You're in some weird kind of alternate universe. Well, at least I got a direct shot to Vegas, and you're pretty close. It was a quick flight, right?
It is. I'm actually
Driving?
driving up to Vegas because I have so much freaking swag
Oh, that's
that I couldn't
easy.
get shipped correctly. So it's a quick 6-hour drive for me. So I am taking my little bundled trailer of swag boxes that all showed up on my doorstep while I was in Amsterdam.
Oh man, you came home to
Um,
just swag.
I did swag of all kinds.
Well, I'm gonna come pick up. I saw there's Chad and Cheese mugs and T-shirts on the horizon.
Yep, we're fully co-branded. We got to do some Purple Acorn co-branded stuff.
Evan, do you hear that? You hear that? Some smart. We're gonna get into that. We will talk offline. We are on it. Well, Elena, I want to thank you so much. I will see you next week.
See you next week, everyone.
In Vegas. And where can folks find you, connect, and learn more?
You can obviously find me at smartrecruiters.com or connect with me on LinkedIn, Elaine Bailey. I'm there.
Elaine, thank you so much for joining us. Let's keep the show rolling, and it's still here. Let's switch it back over to Joel. Hi, Robin.
Hey, Joel.
I'm Adam.
There we go. I'm here. I'm magically transformed in from Adam. How are you doing, Robin? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How was RecFest last week?
Well, uneventful for me. Thanks, Hurricane Francine.
Oh my gosh. So you're in the situation planning on going to RecFest. You've got a whole plan for RecFest. Suddenly the weather, and we'll get to the weather shortly on the show, but the weather changes. What do you do? Like how do you change the game plan?
I mean, it's by Monday the path was supposed to be coming right over us. So I anticipate on Wednesday. And so I anticipated exactly what ended up happening, which was all flights were canceled in out. And so Monday I let the team and Torin know, because Torin was hosting my stage that I was on, and said won't be there.
So why don't you get us up to speed here to who are you and what do you do and who do you do it for? And then I'd love to kind of know how you kind of think on your feet last minute when these situations happen, because I'm sure you are not the only person to have these last minute things happen with conferences, and like how do you keep things on plan when you have a plan? So get us up to speed.
Yeah. Well, I'm Robin Schooling. I am. I still call myself an HR practitioner because at the end of the day, that's what I am.
Yes.
I worked in HR and recruiting, back and forth from HR.
Which one's better?
roles
Which one's
to
better,
recruiting.
HR or recruiting? Which one?
Both. I mean, I started in recruiting.
Love it.
So always kind of my first love still and favorite part of HR. But have gone back and forth, right? From recruiting roles to HR roles. And in-house really for the bulk of my career. Last about 5 years or so, started working with consulting firms. So was with we were Strio Consulting, then Paradis Group, and then that folded. We were acquired, and then I joined Humoriso with our dear friend John Baldino.
Yes.
Who will be on a little later today.
Woo! Love it.
And have been now with Humoriso for about a year and a half. I'm old school. HR networking connectivity, for want of a better word, in that I've had a blog for about, they're still a thing, right?
I've heard of that. Is that the
They're
one with
still a
like
thing.
text and you got to read
So
it?
I've
Is
still
that
got my blog for about, don't write as much as I used to, but I've got my blog for about 15 years now, podcast Drive Through HR, which we're hitting our 15-year anniversary next year, one of the longest running HR podcasts. So
love
keep
that?
busy with those things too.
So Evan was just asking, how is the weather now? But let's fast forward, or sorry, rewind to last week. You know, like the weather's changing. You're not going to be able to get out to RecFest.
Yeah.
So you're speaking on stage. You've got to figure that out. Like, how do you kind of keep things on track? How do you navigate that? And what
Well,
advice
we
do you have for
were,
people?
this is not in South Louisiana. This is not our first rodeo, right? So the storm was going to make landfall on Wednesday. So by Tuesday, right, everything's starting to shut down.
Yeah.
And so that's your prep day, right? The worst part for me is always the anticipation. What's going to happen? Where's it coming? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And so Wednesday was waiting all day, right? Waiting, I'm trying to work, concentrate on things, but the worst part for me is that anticipation. As Wednesday went on, the storm took a turn to the east, so went more. New Orleans got whacked. We're about an hour from New Orleans, so we basically we lucked out. We had rain, we had some wind, but in Baton Rouge proper, really minimal damage, really minimal flooding right by us. A little bit east of us, parish next door, got more flooding and damage and that sort of thing. But you just never know.
So you never know. And then how do you so you and John, you have your plan going into RecFest. We're going to network. We're gonna speak. We're gonna meet up with new friends, meet up with old friends. How do you kind of keep things on track? Like what's like the contingency plan when something like this happens?
I just let him do his thing. I was because I was basically out of sorts really for the rest of the week after Wednesday. Because Thursday, even though we didn't really get much here, I always you get so much adrenaline working up to the storm, and so like the day Thursday, I was just was like my PTSD day of okay, we're done. So quite frankly, I didn't really pay a whole heck of a lot of attention until Friday, trying to okay, what's going on.
Well, I mean, look, you've got it's like the preparation, the excitement for an event, and then you have the anxiety. What's going on with obviously with the weather, with a hurricane coming through. So
Yeah.
that is a lot. So Thursday, decompressing, letting just kind of getting back to a stable state.
Yeah.
Friday then, what were you guys kind of doing on Friday?
Well, and here's where I kind of was sad, I guess, in some ways, in that trying to watch an event, but it kind of brought me back to kind of a bigger lesson, right? That I think we often forget about, or a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to watch from afar. Okay, what's happening? Who's doing what? Who's talking about what? And there was in the moment, not a whole lot of information coming out.
Really?
Yeah, while it was happening. And here's where I think the difference is. And I'm going to sound like the old lady shaking her fist at the clouds, but there now, and that's also a very different vibe at RecFest, right? Because it's fast, right? And all the sessions are 20, 30 minutes and, here you go. And so people are moving. It's not like I'm going to go sit for an hour and listen to somebody pontificate.
There's no like cool, like little AC rooms where you can just, it's outside. We're out in the element.
Right. So, but there was not necessarily a lot of while it's going on, here's Sally Sue up on this stage talking about XXX. And so here's my shaking my fist at the cloud from the days of old. But I look back to I'm going to call it the glory days, when Twitter was still Twitter, and HR and recruiting events that were going on, you could very easily follow online from afar.
Yeah.
And you can't now because nobody is in the moment doing that live tweeting.
Which blows my mind because you can stream. You could stream. We're streaming live right now. Like
Right.
this technology is out there. So it's kind of surprising. I would have thought there would be way more content like being live streamed, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, you pick your poison.
But I think, and there's different ways to consume that and to see what's going on. So for an example, if I'm sitting here, and RecFest, ERE, pick an event, right, is going on somewhere and I'm not there. But I'm still working. So I'm not necessarily keeping this streaming thing going because I can't, because I'm on a call or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. Whereas the ability to, I've got a little break. Let me go catch up on Twitter. I know I sound like I'm a million years old, but.
And everybody's just sending it.
It's captured. Let me see. What's happening?
Yeah.
Who said what? And there's stuff coming in from 6 different sessions because everybody's putting things in that same stream, and it was very easy to get the content and the quick hits of somebody said something cool, right? That's pretty neat. You could capture that. That's
what X is all about. That's what Twitter was all about. It was capturing those moments in the moment, everybody coming together. It's interesting. I honestly would have thought that there would have been more of that now, but now thinking about it, I'm like, it's probably more a lot of like after show content. I'm doing some podcasting that's going to come out in the next 2 weeks.
You
got people who are shooting selfies, probably on the spot video. So that's who kind of organizes that? Is that on the event, or like how do you kind of organize that?
I think, and this is not that long ago. This is, I would say the pandemic is what really changed that vibe. It was even before Elon came in and took it over, right? But the pandemic changed that because, I think back to when, here's pandemic year 1. All the in-person events are canceled. Everything goes online, which great, allowed for accessibility for a lot more people. So thumbs up to that. However, within those platforms, so you think of going on hey, we're doing this, full day conference online. And you go on there and you go from room to room or session to session. Pick an event, ATAP Global that just was, right?
Shout out to ATAP Global.
And you run in and you go from session to session. Well, where's the chat and the conversation happening is within that platform.
Yeah.
So we quickly learned to do that. HR Tech, the online HR Tech conference, right? All of those conversations that used to be out on Twitter, that would be people at the event plus people from outside could participate. That's gone.
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing it within the platform. So you miss that, again, that sharing beyond the people that are immediately, there, even at an online conference. So I think that changed the dynamic of, because I can remember, one of the first was one of the first HR Tech going online, and now they do it in the spring every year. But in that year of the pandemic, and it was wonderfully run, and we're in there, and everybody's kind of trying to figure out, okay, we're in this platform, and there was like a virtual dance party and all this stuff. But the conversation there were still some of us out trying to do it, outside the platform, but the conversation was really happening within there. And that was a moment when things changed, and HR Twitter, TA Twitter, HR Tech Twitter, whatever we want to call it, just sort of sucked away and went internal more. And I think that that's sad in that
you don't get the
closed
same
off the audience.
you don't get the same community, right? And then
Right, exactly.
that's where a lot of like the FOMO can start. Well, look, Robin, it is great to have you. I'm so glad you were able to make the show. Where can people connect with you? Where can they find out more about you?
Yeah, so I'm still on Twitter, so
yes,
there's one.
Me too.
Robin Schooling on LinkedIn, certainly. Our Human Reso website, Drive Through HR podcast. So any of those places, good places to find me.
I love it, Robin. Well, so good to see you, and we'll connect with you on all of those places. And shout out to call out to everybody organizing events. Let's get the outside community involved too. Let's keep that conversation going. Well, we're gonna move on to our next caller. Robin, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
We're back. All right. Art in the background. Tell me about your art in the background.
Well, I try to keep it lively. Actually, the Bowie painting, the Bowie painting, actually, I picked up at RecFest in the UK in whenever I went, 2018, 19. So
amazing.
There's a little nod to RecFest every time I'm on a camera.
Bring that back.
So
I want my Bowie artwork.
Who can it be now? It's Brian Fink now. Look who it is, my man, Mr. Fink. What's up, dude?
What's going on, party people? How's everybody doing this morning?
Good. I want to hear about your RecFest.
My RecFest was an incredible culmination and confluence of individuals who were walking the midway. There were some great people on stages. It's those serendipitous interactions. I mean, like, Adam, you witnessed me like fangirling or fanboying over Mita Malik at Transform last year. It's those type of serendipitous interactions.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, but like, you know, for people to come up to me and be like, "Hey, Brian, I have your book, Talk Tech to Me, and all of my recruiters have it. When are you coming out with the next one? What's going on with you?" And like this genuine kind of like,
cool.
Wait a minute, you read my book? Like, what's going on with that?
You actually
and then
bought my book?
You bought my book. You're one of the 5,000 people who bought the book. And then, you know, this great orchestration of people being brought together, whether it's by Jamie Leonard, who runs RecFest, or whether it's Evan White and the events that he's putting together and the people he's putting together into rooms, or talking about serendipity. There's a gentleman, his name is Paul Abrams, and Paul Abrams is at Huron Consulting. And he came up to me and we had a good 20-minute conversation about talent mapping and what that looks like, and how you can go from how you can take baby steps to be in that proactive funnel of looking for candidates, as opposed to that kind of inbox recruiting that we get caught up in a lot of the time.
Reactive recruiting, as we like to call it.
Sure, absolutely.
So let's talk about some other highlights there. Keynotes. Of course, it's the serendipitous connections. It's the the parties. It's a walk in the streets and running into people. But what stood out from the keynote and presentations? Who rocked your world?
Okay. 3 people who rocked my world, or 4 people who rocked my world in particular order. I'm being deliberate when I say that Anessa and Tara Turk. Anessa Fike and Tara Turk had probably the best conversation of any conversation I witnessed at RecFest.
Wow, shout out.
I thought it was super powerful. I thought it was very transformative in terms of the actions that both of them are taking and the instances they spoke about, and the actions that you can take in a deliberate fashion to change your organization. I think one of my favorite takeaways that Tara made a comment about was, if you want to change your organization, start with yourself first. I think that's something that we forget often. Number 2, Torrin Ellis. You and I have just great respect for Torrin, but Torrin took the stage and he spoke about what it was like to work with clients, what it was like to break down barriers. If you want to say that this was a vendor-led talk, because Torrin does have the Torrin Ellis brand, which strategizes with organizations to make them more inclusive. This was the best vendor-led talk
Wow.
of the event. Now, I would be remiss to say that I said 4 people.
Yeah.
I really meant to say 6. Is the conversation that took place between Jerry Crispin, Carmen Hudson, and Glenn Caffey about the intersection of AI and sourcing. I mean, I'm a sourcer at heart, man. Like that, you knew you were going to pull at my heartstrings. You knew you were going to get me going on
what's
that.
interesting about the names that you mentioned, I mean, these are folks that have been in the industry a long time. So it's interesting to get their perspective because they've seen it all versus newer recruiters who only know the tech that we have now, which is light years ahead of where it was even 5 to 8 years ago.
So I like to think that there's a systemic change that happens in recruiting, and I choose the word systemic very deliberately every 2 years. Is that every 2 years there's a rise of speakers and then they just fade away. They like leave TA. And I don't know if they're pushed out or if they just have one message or one thing to say. I mean, Adam, when I think about you, and yes, guys, I'm kissing Adam's ass. He paid me to say this, is that Adam is serial at what he does, right? He is built, he builds again, builds again. Yeah. Okay.
Fine.
But the thing is that there are people who enter our space and they're there for 2 years. They say something that fundamentally changes what we do in the business, and they disappear.
It's crazy.
They just go away. I remember these 2 gentlemen who were talking about social media influencing at a SourceCon. It was actually SourceCon 2018. Chris McCormick, and I can't think of the other gentleman's name. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah,
they're not in recruiting anymore, right?
They're smart.
They were main stage. They were keynote speakers, right? Maybe, right? Or they didn't have the wherewithal to take the step into entrepreneurship that you and Adam have, Joel. Thank you, Joel, for piping in this year. I hope everybody heard this. I wish I could have been there so I could smell how wonderful Michael Goldberg smelled. Okay.
He went from Old Spice to Axe. Like I asked Joel, because last year I said to Goldberg, I'm like, you're smelling old Goldberg. And then he's like, and then Joel came up and said, you should switch to the Axe body spray and it'll help age you down a little bit. True story.
I love it. I love it. But that is the serendipitous connection, smelling Michael Goldberg.
No. But for real, like the coolest part for me about any of these events, but specifically RecFest last year, it was like the community. We spoke about this before. TA is different than HR. I've been to TA events and I've been to HR events. No, I'm not pooping on the HR folks.
HR is this week in Nashville. That's where Allie is. That's where my wife is.
But the TA community, it's good to see the strong. It's good to see the tribe is strong. It's good to see the love. It's not competitive, right?
So, Adam, it is good to see that, but I'm going to go back to the comment that I made, is that we've got to do everything we can to get new voices up on the stages.
Exactly.
And to have those conversations, right? One of the reasons that I tune in every week to you guys is I don't know who you're going to have on the show. Like, you publish a short list, whatever, it's nice and so forth. But I didn't know Danielle until you guys had this show, and now I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Fresh voices and opinions. Yeah. But that's what we're trying to do here, right? Like there's so many voices, and you mentioned a bunch of names, and I think RecFest did a good job. Tab was out there, Tabitha was out.
So Tabitha, new voice on the stage, great voice on the stage.
Mike,
Steve Jewell,
right? Mike,
yeah, Steve Jewell was it?
Mike Presto, what's his last name? Right?
Prescott, yeah,
Prescott,
he was. Yeah, from well, and Mike and I had we had a moment, like we talked about what it's like to recruit everything from back office to front line, and I haven't recruited frontline in so many years that it just gave me an insanely new, fresh perspective on what he has to go through as he builds his community.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. So what's coming up? What's coming up next for you on the travel? I know you got SourceCon coming up, right, San Diego?
I have SourceCon San Diego coming up. I am excited about that. We are going to be talking about generative AI and natural language search and what there's all the crazy differences between all of these LLMs and how do they work and how do they make you a better sourcer. Right. So we've got some energy there. I'll be speaking at SourceCon. I think I'm coming out to ERE because I want to see my man Adam Posner on the stage. I want to be there. I want to be part of that recruiting community. I mean, I straddle the line between sourcing and recruiting because of what I do. Trying to attract that passive talent to opportunities. At the same time, I'm a full life cycle recruiter, right?
Yeah.
So like it's helpful to know the newest techniques on how to close candidates in an accurate and transparent and authentic way. And that's one of the things that I give it out to Michael Glenn, who's putting together ERE, and I give it up to Jim
Solid
Stroud.
lineup.
Yeah,
Legends.
They have stacked what's going on.
I'm excited for ERE. I'm gonna be I have not done a keynote in a hot minute, and I'm gonna be doing my talk on podcasting for recruiting for companies and branding. But there's another talk I've been working on, Brian. I'm gonna give a little bit of alpha here, and I don't know what conference I'm gonna do it at, but I have this thesis around mental health for recruiters. I've been going through it. It's something that we really need to talk about more, and I'm waiting for a conference to say, yes, Adam, this is what we want to talk about. What we do is stressful. Not lots of jobs have stress involved, but there's elements of recruiting that are extremely stressful because we're delivering a lot of bad news at times, and we're
in the
managing
no business.
expectations. I'm saying no a lot more than yes. That's what we're doing. It's a law of averages, right? There's one position, hundreds of people applying and interviewing for it, and you have to. It's tough because you're disappointing people daily. I mean, I do it at home personally with my wife every day, but like I can't. Like, disappointing people at work is different, right? You got to manage it, and it's mental health.
So, Adam, it's different for two reasons for you. One, recruiting is not transactional for you. And if you are a transactional recruiter, saying no or ghosting a candidate should be a very easy thing for you to do. But somebody who's not transactional, who's building relationships, who's figuring out how they can take a person from better to best, there's that stopgap, right? Like there's that moment where you really want to, you've explored together, you've been curious, you've been empathetic, you've been tenacious. You want this person to win, and you have to say, I'm sorry, Mr. Client or mister Hiring Manager said no. Why did they say no? Well, they said no for this reason. But, yeah, I know, but there was somebody who was stronger that edged you out just a little bit. We're going to get on this. We're going to have this conversation next time, right?
Awesome.
So, Adam, I encourage you to have that conversation about mental health. I mean, I've been pretty open about my struggles. It's okay not to be okay. And if you need somebody to listen, I know that Adam's here. I'm here. I'm not a trained professional. I did not stay at La Quinta Inn last night.
There's resources, and but here's the other thing too, Brian, and you and I have a rapport there too. It's about forming friendships like this, where I could text you anytime, like, hey man, you got 5-10 minutes about later today or whenever we could chat, and we make those time for each other because we support each other in the industry. Brian, as always, you deeply appreciate you, our friendship, our partnership. I hope to see you out in Anaheim in November. It's a great time to be out back on the left coast. Where can folks find you? Where could they connect? Where could they learn more?
People can connect with me on the Brian Fink on my Peloton. Ride with me. I will get you to the border. The sheriff's after me. Never mind.
Look at that.
All right.
Wow.
So ride with me on the Peloton. No, Joel and I talked about this. I've lost 14 pounds in the past 3 months. I'm riding every day. We got to go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Find me on the Peloton. Find me on LinkedIn. Find me on #FinkedIn. Evan White. Shout out to you all day long for this hat. Thank you for making me look good.
Look at that FinkDid hat. Brian Fink, the man, the myth, the legend. I want to thank you so much. And before we get to our next guest, I just want to give a quick shout out to my man, Gabe Leal. I've known Gabe for a long time here. Gabe's always been a supporter of the podcast. He's been a supporter of so many friends here, and he supports this show too. So a big shout out to Gabe. Gabe, let's link him up there. Gabe, let's get Gabe down on there. Gabe, thank you so much. Brian Fink, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's keep the show rolling. Danielle, who's calling you?
Ring. It's Anna and Lily.
Yes, Lily and I are tired. We just got home from RecFest like an hour ago.
No way. Wow.
Yes.
Welcome back. You're like in the winding down phase. You're
We
nesting.
are on the red couch in
She's
my
passed
office,
out.
and it's like night. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hello. I have to tell you that Lily is at the top of my list for girl names.
Oh, yes. 1 L or 2 L's is the question.
1 L.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it. It's a fun
Oh my
name.
gosh.
We
Wait,
got
so
Lily
how was
biscuits, Lily Cakes, yeah, all kinds
Oh,
of
that's so
fun names.
sweet.
So
Yeah, I feel like the names that end in Y or I or E,
yeah.
they tend to be easier to give nicknames to.
Yeah, my 15-year-old constantly resented me for naming her Charlotte because it was so many letters when she was learning to spell her name. And I guess
I
I was like,
relate.
"You can't really go by Cha-Cha in school." So she just
Char, that's
doesn't
so
put
cute.
her name on her paper. So anyway.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of the names that you're choosing.
Oh, well, it's so nice
So
to meet you.
it's so
I
nice to meet
have
you.
been loving the dynamic between you and Adam and Joel, and
Thank
such
you.
a refreshing voice, and love how you represent the younger generations in this business. I think it's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. I think it's important. I think as we're reimagining work, we
Yeah,
have to do it collectively because people love to talk about the next generation, but
yeah,
rarely do they actually include us in the conversation. And I think now is the time to do
hmm
it. And so
yeah,
that's what got me here. But I want to talk about you and Ruckfest
yeah,
and how it was. You're probably still coming down from the high, which is great. You're still kind of on it. So tell
yeah.
us a little bit more.
No, it was fantastic. I mean, I'm one of those like get it done kind of gals, right? And I had the privilege of going last year. So I'm like, I'm an alumni. I know what I'm doing. I felt like I was the unofficial RecFest like hype woman because I
Love.
literally recruited so many people to come this year.
That's
And
amazing.
so then I got a bunch of the women that are kind of my tribe on my audio stages to rent a condo together. So it was myself, Erin Riska, Tabitha
Wow.
Cavanaugh, Heather Colvin, Carrie Cochran. We were a whole, squad over, and I would really want to create this like Wreckfest row
Wait,
next year.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Can I come? Can we make
Yes.
it like a intergenerational co-living
Yes.
situation for Wreckfest, and then we'll all create content together. I'll be the head of content,
Okay, well,
and
so this was I
yeah,
wanted to do like a Love is Blind, I do an intro of everyone, like, why are you here? What is your name? Like, what are you
that's
hoping to get?
unreal.
And the pantry was gonna be like the confession closet where we go in and just like blind record like what's coming up and be like, I can't believe we forgot the couch didn't like how to pull out. Poor Aaron had to be on the couch and not on a mattress, just random stuff.
This is
So it
unreal.
yeah, so we had a blast and it was super close to the park. And I mean, the sessions were great. I, got Lillian again. Didn't really ask for permission, but she had her service vest as we kind of went in. And
Well,
having
it's
her is
outdoors.
like the best networking tool ever. And, she has more influence and fans than I do, which I'm totally fine with. But it allows me
Yep.
to talk to everyone. The downside is I'm typically late for sessions and I didn't get to see all the vendors. Like I never even made it over to the shaker tent, which looked amazing. But I think it was
Mm,
also full because the rain and the weather was so unpredictable.
right.
But it's just amazing to reconnect with people I'd met last year and so many of the new faces. I mean, everyone in our house I hadn't met in person except Tabitha, and had
Wow.
been very recently. So, like everyone says, there's nothing like bringing those virtual relationships, human to human, and just deepening those friendships and collaborations, and just celebrating this industry and lifting each other up, and
Mm,
learning as much as we can to do what we do even better, even smarter, even faster.
100%. It's interesting because personally, I don't love staying alone in a hotel room, like, or
I mean, I
anywhere.
kind of do as a mom. You might
Yeah,
appreciate
well, that
that
makes sense.
later.
Yes. But to your point, like, I think, well, I went to Transform earlier this year with my friend Sally Wolf,
I missed
who
you. I was there.
well, we're gonna have to, well, now that we know each other, we
Okay.
know that to look for each other.
Exactly.
But yeah, we shared a hotel room, and it was
Yeah.
so fun because it was kind of felt like older sister, younger sister vibes,
Yep.
and we got to recap the conference days together, even though we didn't go to all the same sessions. We
Yeah.
got to just like, sit and chat. We had Mita Malik who came to our
Yeah.
room and just hung out with us for a little bit of food. It was really nice. So
Well,
I love
we
the
walked back
opportunity
from
to be
dinner.
there.
I did like an unofficial Friday night dinner. I was surprised that all the vendors had like events Wednesday night, Thursday night, and nothing on Friday night, which I think people are going to stay in town for
In
Nashville, essentially.
Nashville.
So
100%.
I was just like, hey, let's all meet at, Taco Mamacita, whoever can come. And we had like 25 people come. But I had
Wow.
also put together my own event on Thursday after Wreckfest because I realized, holy shit, excuse my language, all of my Ask a Recruiter and Rise of the Recruiter people are going to be in town. This would be the perfect way
Wow.
for me to express my gratitude and appreciation for, their servant leadership and volunteering their time to be of service to our community and job seekers. So I had a little inside scoop at the Nashville Zoo. My sister works there. So we were supposed to have this
Wow.
really cool private tiger experience, but the damn weather. But we still
Wow.
managed to have an event with anteaters, flamingos. We learned about the tigers, and there was something called a Sept, which is a very interesting animal. So I'm going to be putting a little video out about it soon, so you'll have to check it out.
Love that. Wow. I wish I could have tagged along for this. I love zoos. I love animals. I love that
Same.
you are a community builder because
Yes.
I also am. And I love that. I love that you just kind of threw it together. You're like,
And
wait, why
I'm
not?
always like, "Do you know this person? You should know each other. You should have her on your
Yes.
podcast." And
We were
I
talking
mean,
about
at
that
the
last
end,
week.
yeah, everyone's like, "Anna," well, one, they're like, "Anna, you know everyone." One, and then two, they're like, "You are the master connector." And I'm like, I need to lean into this more. And I do. I love bringing people together to lift others up. And, as a solopreneur too, it's so nice to have this community where, like Brian and Adam were saying earlier, where you can just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, I need to talk to someone about this because Lily is not answering me on my idea."
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about like just a little bit of a wrap up of like what were the topics that excited you that you listened to? What were some of the takeaways you brought
Yeah,
home?
so I mean, I was obviously super hyped to support Tabitha about competency-based interviewing, and oh my God, she's such a natural on stage, and I love the way she intertwines her personal story and very much the storytelling of how relatable it is as a recruiter. When you go through and you see a candidate and you can't quite put your finger on it, but you're like, they are perfect for this role, and kind of digging into the mechanics of how we can start using these competency based interviewing strategies to really, the way I see it, is give talent more access to opportunity and honestly get hiring managers head out of their behinds about has to fit in this perfect square box. Well, if you keep operating under that mentality, you're going to be when the market shifts, or even now, there's a lot of markets and positions that are high demand and low supply. So Tab was awesome. First day, was a little AI heavy for me. And I'm, candidate experience, the human to human, lovey stuff, the, thought leadership, the creator stuff. So I loved supporting Orlando Haynes on stage for the first time. Nicole spoke on James Ellis's stage with Audra Knight. They looked amazing in their jersey, their matching jersey, and jerseys did a great job. I loved at the very end of the second day, it started pouring out of nowhere. Brian Fink, Rocky Howard, and Anessa Fike start singing "Lean on Me" under Torrin Ellis's tent, and we all started singing and like dancing together. It was just one of those like Kodak, like, man, like, let me just
Torrin's the
use
goat.
this moment. And we were all like, sweaty and wet and just like, crazy looking. But it was just a beautiful moment. And then the mic drop moments that they had about checking your privilege and doing the work that they're doing and having the tough conversations and what it's like to be a mother of a young Black son. And I mean, just gave you chill bumps to have the privilege to hear their stories and to be a part of that conversation.
Wow, that is so incredible. I have to get the recap and try to find a video of this.
Yeah,
Of
there were
this
so
convo.
many. I mean, there were so many good speakers. I mean, the downside was it's like, like you said, it was good that you could kind of divide and conquer and we could fill each other in at night, like on the couch of, hey, this is what
Yeah.
happened on Tamika's stage and this is what happened on, Brian's stage, etc. But overall, it was a great event. I think they had a lot of awesome vendors. I think there might be an opportunity to have a break for lunch so people don't leave the event and maybe have some food at the event. What else?
Smart. Well,
That was
it's
the
good
big complaint,
good
like I
feedback.
heard. But otherwise, like Jamie and his team are absolute rock stars, and they're just great humans too. So I will continue being like a massive champion of Wreckfest
Oh, that's
wherever
awesome.
they end up being. I'm like, hey, come to Atlanta. Then Lily and I can be like the official Wreckfest, mascot.
100%. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us, for telling us a
Thank
little
you
bit more
so
about your
much.
human experience at
Yeah.
Breakfast. And yeah, let's definitely connect at the next
Yeah,
one.
I would love to have you on Rise of the Recruiter or even Ask of the Recruiter.
do
So
it.
I will definitely be reaching out. Joel and Adam, thanks for having me. Evan, thank you so much. And I hope to be back soon. Okay.
Yeah. All right. See
All
you
right.
soon. Bye, Lily.
Yeah. Bye.
Hello. Hey, first of all, before I get into the HR weather, I was pretty bang on with the weather in Nashville last week. So I predicted, and we talked about it, Adam.
The coverage.
75% chance of rain, 100% at bicentennial. So Joel, it rained, right? Like from the videos I saw, everyone I talked to.
It rained, but it wasn't that rainy. The weather people, they like to use clickbait, I think, for ratings.
No, that's why you love them.
So it wasn't too bad.
But I was right. I
Oh,
now have the credential to be a real weatherman. So
You are a real weatherman.
Yes.
Don't sell yourself short.
Call me.
You
Definitely want to be
identify
the
as a
weather
weatherman, so you are a weatherman.
I am a weatherman.
You're a weather person.
A weather person, exactly.
Weather expert.
Weather expert.
Whether
Let's
or not
jump
you are,
into-
that's not for us to decide.
Yeah, I think I am. I was right. And then if we look at next week in Vegas, I predict it's going to be really hot. That's
my God. Let's talk about let's talk about that for a moment. I think on Tuesday when we arrive, I think we're looking at let's see, a high of 103.
You know what though? I lived in the desert and it's not that bad. Okay.
What desert
It's dry heat.
I lived in the Inland Empire, so like Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and it was I would take dry heat over humidity any day.
Yeah.
Humidity in 80 degrees is worse than
Dry heat doesn't
dry.
melt your makeup.
Yeah, I live in Canada. I don't think I can handle 103 degrees, but we'll see. How about we jump?
I'm gonna schwitz, Danielle.
We're gonna schwitz all over each other, Adam.
It's gonna be a schwitz fest in Vegas, but we're gonna try not to go outside. I'm telling you that much.
No, that's the plan. I am not going outside at all. You're going to have to.
No pool parties?
No, I'm not even bringing a bathing suit. Actually, I might.
I am.
You will.
But I don't think we'll have
Bring a
time.
Speedo. I love
Purple Acorn live with
purple
on the
acorns.
pool.
Love it.
We're gonna shoot some really funny content.
Yes.
Hey.
How about we jump into the HR weather? And this week, I want to focus on candidate experience, but I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle. Like it or not, job boards are the number one source that candidates go look and find jobs. In a recent survey, 70% of candidates said they go to job boards first. So for today's HR forecast, I'm calling for a major shift in how we approach advertising in this space. For too long, HR and talent acquisition have been focused on quantity over quality. We've been chasing clicks, impressions, and application volume. In reality, how many are qualified? So we live in a world of lazy AI applied tools that literally you can apply for 1,000 jobs in a day. We live in a world where candidates are leveraging AI, so every resume looks qualified. There's bots in the system. There's international applicants that don't have the proper documentation. It's just overwhelming recruiters out there. So we have to start forcing providers to move away from this cost per click model that's been kind of put upon us to pricing that actually reflects the value of a qualified candidate. Like I've been celebrating in the past, I've seen companies celebrating 1,000 applicants for a job, meaning, oh, that's a really good news story. A lot of people are interested in a job. In reality, how many are qualified? How many can actually do the job? So our job moving forward in HR and talent acquisition is to know where our candidates are coming from, then holding our partners accountable by aligning our investment with quality candidates. So there's a storm coming for job boards, aggregators, ad agencies to provide a way better experience for companies. And in return, the companies are going to provide a way better experience for candidates. Because if you remove all the noise of unqualified candidates, companies actually are going to have the time to spend with the quality candidates that are qualified, giving everyone a way better experience. So on that note, let's focus on quality over quantity. That's the HR weather. Back to the panel. What do you guys think? I know this is more industry related, but it's a huge issue right now that recruiters are just getting bombarded by thousands of applicants. Then you go through it and literally none are qualified. I've talked a little bit about this to candidates. Stop applying for jobs you're not qualified for, but it's really hard. It's really hard when you're looking for a job. Obviously, you're going to try to apply for as many jobs to try to get it.
Numbers game.
Yeah. It's got to be on companies to start forcing the issue of like, no more, I'm not paying for quantity anymore. I just want quality.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because I saw a viral LinkedIn post that just said, I just hired a candidate with zero experience because they showed up 5 minutes early for the interview and pronounced my name correctly. They had a genuine smile and dressed sharp. They smiled during the interview and made eye contact and were honest about having zero experience because I value honesty. They asked me questions. They wanted to learn. They showed up. So hiring decision makers out there, don't disqualify candidates because they don't have experience. Take those
Stop it, Joel.
Was this
stop
wait,
it,
this is
please.
This is Serge's post?
No, this is just a viral post. But
no, I would
Garbage.
never post that because it's pure BS, right? Like in
You
reality,
just got a
I
new
don't know
job.
where
You're
career
good.
coaches have come with this, saying you should. I want to check on this guy in 3 months. Is that employee still there? I guarantee you they won't be because they can't do
they were
the job.
CEO.
It's a major issue.
They were a dog that became
Depends
a
what
CEO.
level, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, entry level is completely different. If you're not looking for experience, Daniel, as you said, that's a different ball game.
Like entry to mid-level, like let's just say you're hiring for a mid-level role and you're hiring someone who has like 3 years of experience rather than like 5 to 7.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's what have you done with that experience, though?
Yes,
exactly.
That's what
like
matters.
In my opinion, and I've said this to a lot of people, the reason I graduated and worked in startups is because in startups you get so much hands-on experience. You get so much power. You get so much autonomy. You get you are a decision maker in one way or another, more so than you would be if you worked at IBM. And so I've always been on the team of, if you want hands-on experience and you want to fast track your career, in my opinion, unless you're going into a rotational program in a big company, startups are the way to go.
Love it.
In your
Startups
early
for
career.
all.
It definitely depends who you work for, but I'm team startups.
Serge, as always, thank you for the weather. I will see you in Vegas next week. And by the way, fun fact, Joel and Joel. Wait a minute. We're gonna talk about that later. Since Danielle's going to Vegas, is Joel doing the show by himself next week?
Who
will
is doing the show?
I'll be in
Joel
the air.
can handle it.
Yeah,
I'm getting all the pay too, so it'll be good.
Well, let's face it. Joel is the star, so
Joel is the star. Let's keep it.
Taking paid
Serge, you're the star, and Serge, we want to thank you so much. Let's keep the show rolling. And wait a minute, we have Baldino.
Hey,
Look at that hat. Are you cold?
I just want to make sure I'm all. I got a love box, so I just want to make sure
What?
that I'm doing all of the product placement. Hi.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to follow Danielle's moves. I mean, my dog.
If I unpacked every box live,
There'd be a lot going on. So what's happening, man? Were you out at Wreckfest? Were you down? Were you
I
over in
was.
Nashville?
Yeah.
How was you? Did you get wrecked?
No, wrecked days are over, my friend. I'm on the other end of that. No more 3:30 in the morning for me. If I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, it's because of my age and needing to go to the bathroom, not because I'm just returning.
You know what? But that's the thing. Like I'm kind of in that mode too, where especially if I'm going to be on the next day, if I'm speaking or if I have a podcast, I take that seriously, that commitment, and I usually leave it to the last night of the conference, right before I have to fly home to have a little bit of extra fun there, because it is business. I mean, it is business, and you want to have fun there. So talk to us about your Wreckfest experience this year.
It was awesome. I got the
great. Good chat.
Yeah, see ya. I had the privilege of being moderating a panel with some qualified users, which was fun, and to be able to talk about that product. So I like that Wreckfest affords opportunities to be very pragmatic about so much that's there. Right, there are all these tech partners that are there, but we don't always get to hear sort of intimately about what each of them's doing, and so many had opportunity to sort of share what's going on. So I love that, because there's a lot of good stuff going on as far as technology is concerned.
What stood out to you, talk wise, keynotes?
I mean, I'm a fan of practical. I mean, Madeline Norano is like, I adore her. And so when she gets to sit and talk about research and statistics and what the experience is that's happening right now, there's just something rich about that. Kyle Lagunas, her partner, also being able to kind of share some of those things. So I love the two of them, and they got to co-host a stage for the morning one morning as well, and that was fun. Love Tim Sackett and Greenhouse.
Who doesn't love Tim Sackett?
Well, there are plenty.
Oh, was he wearing shorts so you could see his swole calves?
I don't know that I looked at his legs, but
you can't not look. They're there. That's by design. Unbelievable, that guy.
It's just good to be able to, because he's confident to buck up against what everybody wants the answer to be, and he. I appreciate that he makes no qualms about, no, that's not actually true across the board. This is how it is. And you can, have a difference of opinion, but I just appreciate that someone's willing to be able to say, nope. So
there's a difference between opinion and fact, right? Like there needs to be, and our industry's tough because there's so much nuance that I think when people make general broad stroke statements, they're missing nuances. Whether we're talking about work from home, return to the office, great resignation, recalibration, salaries, comps, all these things. There's so much nuance that's missed there. So I think it's important that we call people out in a respectful way, and we talk facts are facts, but then be able to have civil conversations and discussions.
But the hard thing about that is, in our industry, is we've sort of backed ourselves into a corner that I take a position so that I can see how many likes and reshares and comments that I can get that are affirmational. And so I worry that sometimes we've done a disservice to those up and comers to sort of just relegate it to this. Part of it is, we are famous in our own eyes. And so, at Wreckfest, there's some amazing people there. Jerry Crispin and Steve
Legends.
Lee and Dean DaCosta and some of these people, Bill Borman, and people that, I've been friends with these people for years, and just to be able to sit there with them and kind of talk through things, it's awesome. But if I go into, a manufacturing facility or certain tech companies or an automobile dealership, and I'm like, yeah, I was talking to Bill Borman last week in Nashville, and they're like,
the guy living in the trailer with the beard.
Jerry brought his Airstream, and it's awesome. They don't have this, the HR famous only goes so far, right? It's really about what can we take from the experience together and bring back to be practical, I think, in the workplaces we're a part of. That's what we need to be doing.
And what about the afters and the after parties? What stood out to you? Which sponsor really threw it down?
I mean, I was at 1230 in club, and that was a beautiful place, and the view is awesome. That was the Aptitude Research BFF party, and I got to do the riverboat with Qualify, and Flip Cup was happening there, and I got grief yesterday because I guess they posted the video and people noticed that I wasn't participating in Flip Cup.
Why were you at least like judging or some kind of other
I was
non-participant activity?
Imagine the old Muppets guys that were up in the balcony booth, being
the one that looks like an eagle
towards everybody. Yeah. That was me. I was that guy. Stopped by the Redneck Riviera festivities on Broadway, and that was a good time as well. I don't know. I don't have a bad time. If people say, "Yeah, I went to this and it wasn't that great," I feel like you're looking for it to not be great. It's
no way. It's in your face. So leave us. We got to keep the show moving. Leave us with one aha moment from RecFest.
The people component of recruiting is still alive and well. I'm a fan of tech. I'm a fan of being able to streamline processes. I get all the AI stuff, but over and over again, people talked about the fact in some way, shape, or form that the people component isn't going away. We need to continue to kind of be thoughtful about really delving deep into relationship and figuring out skills and aptitudes of people, and that comes through conversation, people to people.
Keeping it real. Well, John, we want to thank you so much. Where can folks find you? Where can they connect? Where they can learn more?
Humoriso.com. Feel free.
Let's keep it moving, John. Thank you so much. Am I going to see you at HR Tech? You're going to be out there?
I will be there.
Vegas, baby. See you next week, man.
See you next week.
I have my pictures of Lily. I have pictures with Lily from last year, RecFest. Lily is awesome, and Anna. That's Anna Morgan's dog, Lily. Lily's great. Service dog. Anna just gets Lily into everywhere. It's like the VIP list. It's incredible. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to HR Pause.
Like
HR Pause. And this is brought to you by This Way Global and their new tool, Sully Sandbox. A user-friendly interface to search and discover valuable data AI solutions. And with access to high-quality data sets, you could tap into trusted and secure data and AI solutions. So take a cue from Sully and come play in the sandbox. And if you want to schedule a demo, scan that little QR code on the right. QR code. And by scheduling that demo, you will also be participating in This Way Global's Pause for Pause program, where they will donate $100 to your favorite pet charities. Let's give it up to our friends over at This Way Global and HR Pause. And hey, Lily, good to see you again.
Woo!
And that brings us to the end of the show. I know that Danielle has to make a train, so we're going to say goodbye. We want to thank Erin. We want to thank all of our sponsors and friends, and make sure that you tune in to hire her. Pacific time, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. And if you want to see more Purple Acorn, head over to purpleacorn.io.
Follow and subscribe.
Catch Danielle and I over at HR Tech in Vegas next week. Catch Joel and whoever our surprise co-hosts are going to be for next week. We're going to figure that one out. Hey, do you want to co-host? Shoot us a note.
Yeah. Shoot us a note.
Qualified. Shoot us a note, and Joel will do a quick interview and see if you're compatible to deal with his nonsense next Tuesday. But we want to thank everyone out there, and everyone have a great day. Be good to yourself. Be better to others. And we will see you back on the morning show next week. Thank you, Purple Acorn. We are out.
Bye.